Ladies and gents, welcome back to another video. Inside this package, we have an iPhone 8. Now, this should be on its original version of iOS, which happens to be iOS 11, although I am expecting some significant damage on the device itself. Let's get it opened up and see if that's what we have. Okay, here is the iPhone. Whoops. And right off the bat, it is in really dirty condition. We've got a crack up there, crack on the side, big scratch there on the screen, and the back is cracked in several places, and so is the camera lens. So before I do anything, I want to get this thing cleaned up because as you can see, it's full of fingerprints and yuck. So let's clean it up and then we'll try to turn it on. All right, I got it cleaned up and I already pushed the power button, so it is turning on. The front looks to be in decent condition, although there are some pretty deep scratches. There's one down towards the bottom right there, and up at the top there's one right there. Of course, we've got a crack in that corner, and I guess that's it for the front. So here we go. Let's go through the setup process and see which version of iOS we have once we make it to the home screen. Here we go. We are at the home screen, and right away it wants us to update to iOS 16. Of course, we are not going to allow that. Let's go inside of settings and see what version we have. All right, we've got 11.4, and this is a 256 gigabyte iPhone. That is pretty cool. So 11.4, that's got to be one of the last versions of iOS 11, which of course is what the iPhone 8, 8 Plus, and iPhone 10 shipped with. So iOS 11, this iPhone has been updated a few times through the steps of iOS 11, but never got a full iOS update. And look at that camera. This thing is not happy. We can see on the back that it is shattered on this lens, and that lens appears to be pretty dirty. So I think that's the normal lens, and this is the zoom lens. Let's see if we can determine that. Yeah, so portrait mode is going to use that telephoto lens, which appears to be in good condition. Although I am seeing kind of a spot there towards the top, right in the middle of that little yellow box. So I'm not sure what that's about, but yeah, cameras are not in good condition. Let's see if the front-facing camera works. And it does. You can see my stars on the ceiling there that have been up there for way too long. Okay, so 8 Plus on iOS 11, 256 gigabyte, which is the most you could get on the iPhone 8 and the 8 Plus. That storage capacity was actually introduced in the iPhone 7, and it carried over to the 8. So you can only get 64 or 256 on the 8, 8 Plus, and iPhone 10. Kind of unfortunate they didn't have a 128 because I think a lot of people would have gone with that, but Apple probably knew that and they wanted the extra money, so they left that option out and forced everyone into the 256. So overall, the build quality on this iPhone is fantastic. The black color looks amazing, and if you can look past the damages that my unit has, you can tell that this at one point was a really clean device. And truthfully, I don't mind the damage on the back because you could always just throw a case or a skin on the iPhone. What really bugs me is the camera lens there. I'm not sure how to replace that, if that's even possible without taking the whole phone apart. And it's also kind of annoying to have these really deep scratches right here. You can hear just how deep that is. And then up here at the top, another one, not as significant. Apart from those, the display's in good condition. We do have some chip. Well, I just made that really bad. This cloth must need a wash. All right, there we go. So we've got chips up here at the top, in the corners there. Just some micro scratches in addition to these deeper grooves. Of course, we've got the lightning port at the bottom, and we have, I believe, the speaker on this side and the microphone on that one, but they could be switched around. Of course, we also have a speaker up here in the earpiece, so when holding the iPhone in landscape mode, you got a stereo sound, which is nice. So I am interested to see if this, I don't remember when battery health was launched. Oh, so it looks like iOS 11 because this is still in beta. 90%, that's not bad at all. Not bad at all. So let's see, I don't expect any issues, but I have heard some people say that the iTunes Store and the App Store don't work on iOS 11. And that appears to not be the case because we loaded basically right away. iOS 11 is really smooth on here. Of course, the iPhone Plus models, so 7 Plus, 8 Plus, and the iPhone X, got an additional 1 GB of RAM, bumping this up to 3 GB total. The iPhone 7 and iPhone 8 did not get that. So the experience of iOS 11 on this device is super clean, very smooth, as I'm sure you can tell from the refresh rates that you're seeing here. And overall, this is a great experience. We've got Control Center. This looks pretty similar to what we have today. Notification Center as well. Let's check out the iOS 11 wallpapers. That's not one we usually get to see because there should technically be no devices still on iOS 11 because every device that got iOS 11 also got iOS 12. So this was not the end of the road for any Apple product. We'll go ahead and set this as the home screen. There we go. That looks pretty nice if you ask me. So the 8 Plus also introduced wireless charging. That's why the back is glass. So that means you can charge it with MagSafe case. Although it does not stay on, you can see that it is in fact charging the iPhone. But of course, if I let go, it just falls off. So no MagSafe here, but capable of wireless charging. Now, I'm interested to see if the landscape keyboard has the extra row of buttons, and it does not. So in some earlier versions of iOS, this additional space on the side is dedicated to additional function buttons, but on here, you can see I'm not even touching that letter, and it still registers it. Same on this side. Kind of interesting. All right, well, there you have it. I don't know a whole lot about iOS 11 and what was introduced, so that'll be your all's job. Leave a comment down below about a cool feature that came out in iOS 11 or a fun fact related to the iPhone 8 or 8 Plus that we have here. All right, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in another video.